everybody, welcome back to SportsKhabri and Candid Football Conversations. I've got with me Arunava Chaudhary. Arunava, how are you doing? We're here to talk about the 17-man squad that's been announced for the Asian Games. We'll quickly run through this one. Before that, how are you doing and how is the mood after taking a look at that squad?
Well, Rahul, thanks. I'm fine. It's been a crazy last 2-3 days with all those things that have come out and all the problems that have prevailed. It's interesting to see this squad. There are about 9 players who were originally part of the squad which was supposed to go. And if we want to go through it, we've got Gurmeet Singh, Dheeraj Singh as the goalkeeper, Sumit Rathi and Narendra Gahlot as the defenders, Amarjit Kiam, Samuel Kinchi, Rahul KP, Abdul Rabe, Ayush Chetri, Bryce Miranda, Afzal Nurani as the midfielders. And we have Rahim Ali, Vinci Barreto, Sunil Chetri, Rohit Danu, Gurkirat Singh and Aniket Jadhav as the strikers and attacking players. And by far the biggest name, Sunil Chetri, makes it in. With BFC taking on the Blasters in the first ISL game, I can ask you as a BFC fan, how's your feeling? Not only him, but also Rohit Danu not being part of the BFC squad.
And the funny thing is, yesterday when Sunil was talking and he had Jasil Carnero with him, and the question was who's under more pressure because Jasil is returning to his old club after all of that happening, and Sunil is returning. But Sunil was like, "Don't worry, most of the people, the most of the heat will be on me. I'll take care of everything. You don't need to worry." I'm again a little surprised to see his name there. Just doesn't fit with the rest of the squad. What do you make of Ranoa? Is it surprising to see his name there?
Well, there were things happening in the background. So the government has been involved, not only the Federation, FSDL has been involved. And I guess the government wanted a name to be involved in all of this. And in the end, Sunil Chetri is by far the biggest name that we have in Indian football. And that way, Sunil makes the cut with a young but talented squad. They don't have much time. Some of them are now currently with the India under-23s or were with the Indian under-23s in China for the AFC under-23 Asian Cup qualifiers. And it'll be interesting to see how quickly this squad can gel. A lot of the boys are former India junior internationals. A lot of them have played in the under-17 World Cup.
Yeah.
So it's not totally unexperienced or inexperienced. It's something that has been sort of jumbled up because I think everybody realized in the last 24, 36, 48 hours that some sort of solution was needed. Not to embarrass India in front of the government. But again, we go back to what we have been talking quite a bit over the last 3 months, that this whole mess, and I call it a mess, could have been avoided.
But I personally, again, I was really excited to see Sunil Chetri against Kerala Blasters in Kerala. It would have been a lot of fun. I think it would have been a lot of fun for all Indian football fans to witness it, but we're probably not going to get to do that now. And I know, looking at the squad, potentially, I mean, there are a lot of exciting players. There are a lot of options to pick from in terms of the front line. Who do you think Igor Stimac is going to go with as far as the front three are concerned?
It depends on what format Stimac goes with. And the interesting part to me is you have Sunil in there. So I think Sunil is somewhat of a given. Rahim Ali has been someone that has been favored by, if Igor Stimac is the coach, I don't even know who is going to be the coach, if Stimac is going to be a coach or if Clifford Miranda is going to coach the team. But whoever it is, Rahim Ali has seen something. We've got another very talented striker in Gurkirat, who has been released by Mumbai City FC for this. So, he's there. Aniket Jadhav is there. So we've, attacking wise, Rohit Danu has been there. We have some options. So My concern is we've got two defenders in the squad, Sumit Rathi and Narendra Gaylord.
Yeah.
So that will be interesting. Who's going to chip in as right back and left back? Um, yeah, it's interesting to see.
Would Bryce Miranda probably play as a left back? I think he did once or twice for Kerala. I'm not sure. Again, like he was preferred as a winger, but then he's also played, I think, in that left back position. Probably him. Yeah, again, it just uh, do we look a little short in the middle of the park? Not a lot of midfield options here, and probably not
Um,
too many
yeah, I
picks
mean,
for.
if you look at it, we're looking a little bit short in defense. We're looking short in the midfield, of course. Yes, we've got Amarjit in there.
Yeah,
You have Ayush Chetri in there potentially to play. I don't know if Sunil is going to drop. It might also be an option to actually let Sunil drop a little. So you have to. This is the squad now, and therefore, let's see what this squad does.
what are your expectations? I don't know from this team that's come up.
I have hope that this team does its best and they will do their best, but I don't have any expectations because this is just a jumbled up squad. But players that have been released by the ISL teams, plus of course Afsar Nurani, who's been released by Gokulam Kerala. Um, Again, this team has no cohesion. It would be unfair on the boys to expect something from them. If they can get out of something out of these three matches, brilliant. If not, it's experience that they gain, and I think that's the most important thing now, given the scenario that there is.
I don't know. I think I know we've spoken about this before, but ideally, what would you have preferred to see? What sort of a team would you have preferred to see going into the Asian Games?
Well, if first of all, I think strategically, I would have looked at what are priorities for September, and yes, the Cup was important, but I felt, and I do feel still strongly about it, that the AFC Under 23 qualifiers were to us the most important competition, and
Yeah,
we let that go. Um, we sent a totally underprepared side into that competition, and it showed against China and against the UAE. We finished last without a point. We're doing something similar now with the Asian Games. I'm interested to see how the AFF and FSDL and the clubs sort out something to not harm us going into the World Cup qualifiers, and especially with the Asian Cup. And this is, yeah, it's been a sad 2-3 days, I would say, for Indian football, with all those conversations, all these rumors, allegations, counter allegations. We've seen a lack of leadership.
yeah. Anything you would have preferred that the federation or people in charge would have rather done in these situations?
We've discussed it multiple times. You and I discussed it around the SAF final when I was in Bangalore, right? That India needs to prepare for September, sort out September.
Yeah,
The calendar is a mess, and they didn't do anything. They allowed it to come to this. Where is the accountability? If you see that the president of the All India Football Federation says, that it was difficult, it was a balancing act, great words to use now. Where was your foresight? Where was the planning and the strategy? I would have sent an under 23 team. Under 21, most probably. Give the boys the exposure. Why was the Duran Cup allowed to run until the 3rd of September? We harmed ourselves, especially, I said, under 23s was the most important competition, and we didn't look at it. And this is something that, what are our priorities? And this is something which I feel is that, yeah, the right decisions needed to be taken, and they weren't. And again, FSDL and the clubs have the right. Asian Games are not an competition happening in a FIFA window. It's an under 23 competition, or under 24 this year as well. So
yeah.
therefore, what's the right step? And again, this is sadly typical of what has happened in Indian football over the last 100 plus years, whenever these kind of situations have cropped up, because it wasn't handled at the time when it should have been handled.
And I know looking at the squad, it does look like a fair few ISL clubs have chosen not to be generous and let go of their top stars. Are you at all surprised? What sort of responsibilities lie with clubs when it comes to releasing the players for such tournaments?
There are two things. I think one very very important aspect to mention is that Mumbai City FC play in the AFC Champions League. Odisha and Mohun Bagan play in the AFC Cup,
Yeah,
and those two competitions at the Asian, at the continental level, which are senior competitions, are to me more important than the Asian Games. And that should be at the discussion. What are we prioritizing, right? Then you have the ISL starting on the 21st. So that clashes also. And that's a senior competition. And we were asking the clubs for more time in November for the World Cup qualifiers, in March for the World Cup qualifiers, in January, and even before that in December for the AFC Asian Cup. The season needs to be played and needs to be finished. And all these people are saying, listen, we're bowing down to cricket and all that kind of stuff. No, that's not bowing down. That's a reality. You and I, the others might not like it. Cricket is the biggest sport in India. And once the IPL starts, nobody will bother about the ISL or about Indian football. And that's again, we have to face the facts. And therefore, um, yeah, it's very disappointing of how this is sort of played out. And you know, we can say we mentioned it, and if people want to go back to our episodes in late June, early July when we spoke about these things.
yeah.
um totally avoidable. That with a proper planning, with an idea, um that can be sorted. And that's why again Mumbai City only released Gurkirat, Mohun Bagan release Sumit Rathi, right? So therefore, um yeah, that's the reality as how things stand.
Well, I mean, this is where we stand, and this is the squad we have. And now, looking at the squad, are you excited to see a couple of players who are you looking at and saying, okay, if this guy impresses, there's probably a chance for him to get into the national team or like really make a good claim for a spot in the national team. Are you looking at a couple of players here?
Will be interesting to see which goalkeeper plays. We've got Gurmeet and Dheeraj. I mean, Dheeraj has a lot of experience from the youth national teams. Gurmeet has been one who was really really good, outstanding in the last season of the ISL, and he even got a call up into the senior national team. I saw him train at least in Bangalore during the SAF Cup. I would love to see Amarjit Kiam refine his touch and his form. I mean, this is a former India junior captain. So therefore, that's another one. Samuel Kinchi, who's now with Punjab FC, former player of Real Kashmir and Shillong Lajong. That's another one. Rahul KP, of course, capable potential winger. Rahul KP in an India jersey, why not? Abdul Rabe, another one of those wingers. So therefore, you know, you've mentioned Bryce Miranda, Ayush Chetri, of course, who the season before was very very impressive with Aizawl FC in the I League. So there's a number of these boys. You know, Gurkirat not to forget, and a boy which who I'd liked to have seen more in India colours is Rohit Danu. You know, so
Yeah.
therefore we've got tons of them. Even Aniket, you know, all these boys, all these 17 boys have something in them. So hopefully they can show it and progress. And yeah, that's give their best. I mean, that's the only thing you've got. You know, Sunil Chetri amongst you. He's not only, you know, he's not the father. It feels like most probably he's like the grandfather of the squad in you know, with the age difference with most of these boys. But I would hope that Sunil can give some, you know, pep talk and added bonus that these boys try and get the best, because again this is put together in the last moment. So therefore, yeah, from my side at least, no pressure on the boys.
Yeah, final question, Arvind, in this short video. Just want to ask you if you had to put your money on one of these guys to have a really good Asian Games and then translate the same form into club football and have a really good season for their respective ISL or I League sides, who would it be? Who's that? Apart from Sunil Chetri, obviously. Like we already mentioned, he's.
Damn, you took them away. You took him away.
Yeah,
Um, well, I think Ayush Chetri could be an interesting one. because he's in a very crucial position in defensive midfield. He's someone who has shown glimpses of that last season at FC Goa, playing besides players like Edu Badia. So therefore, I think Ayush Chetri could be one to look out for. I would love to see Amarjit Kiam refine that touch, as I said, with that feeling, what he's capable of. And then the others, Samuel Kinchi, Rahul KP, Bryce Miranda, all very talented players. Even Rahim Ali, all these guys, Rohit Danu, Gurkirat has shown for the India under 20s what he's capable of as a captain. So therefore, a lot of these players, and but again, I think Ayush Chetri is the one that I think and I hope can showcase and be a leader on the field.
Yeah. Well, thanks, Aruma. That's your 17-man Asian Games squad. We just ran through the squad, and we've also presented our opinions and picks for players who we could potentially do well. And yeah, we'll be back for more content. Thanks, guys. Do like, share, and subscribe to Arun Foot and Sports Khabri.